My name is Cik Muhammad Yusman bin Cik Isa.
Hello, my name is Intan Akmal Najihah.
Hi, my name is Alia Amira Binti Mazlan.
Hi, my name is Nurul Nabihah.
What is NAM? NAM is actually the National Archive of Malaysia, or also known as NAM, is a Malaysian archive located in Kuala Lumpur under the Ministry of Information, Communication and Culture Malaysia. NAM were established in 1957 as the Public Records Office before changing to their current name in 1963. They established their current location in Jalan Duta in 1982. The National Archive Act 2003 was passed in 2003, providing the legislative basis for the NAM of branch of archive. Next is function and activities of NAM. There are 4 functions of National Archive of Malaysia. The first one is to provide advice and consultation. Second is to detect, collect, store and preserve any records and information. Third is to provide reference and research facilities as well as documentation in order to complete. And lastly is disseminate information and knowledge of historical value for public viewing and information. Next, we will move on to branch of NAM. There are 9 branch of NAM, which is at Kedah, Kelantan, Pulau Pinang, Terengganu, Perak, Sabah, Sarawak, Pahang, and also Johor. Next is department and unit. There are several department and unit, which is planning and coordination division, government records management division, archive management division, management services division, development division, research and documentation management division, and lastly is statement archive division. For the vision, leading the transformation of records management and archive administration as the National Research Centre of Excellence by the year 2020.
The next one is logo and definitions. The National Archive of Malaysia's logo was designed by Encik Sumadi bin Ahmad. The logo competition ran from 1st February 1979 right up to 10 April 1979. The logo emulated the dome-shaped Moorish form of the Sultan Abdul Samad building, the dome plus the large clock which symbolized the image of Malaysia. Number 1. Paper numbering 13 pieces. It means a symbol of the country's document and records. Number 2. The attachment of 13 pieces of paper. It representing the 13 states that form Malaysia, which in effect links the documents and record of the country to its rich historical background. Number 3. Flower-shaped papers with 13 petals. It means the flowers symbolize the cultural value and elements of the country's document and records. Number 4. 13 pointed stars. It represents the stars in the national flag, which symbolize the integration and unity of the people in also resemble the shape of the steel which is used in the government's official document. Number 5. The word Arkib Negara Malaysia. It symbolizes the National Archive of Malaysia as the authority entrusted to be the custodian of the government or country's documents and records. Number 6. Yellow circular ring. It symbolizes the officer and staff of the National Archive of Malaysia as the mobilizer and agent in the implementations of the government's plans. Number 7. Dark brown ring that placed in between the yellow circular ring and the attached papers. It means government agencies network. Number 8. External small ring which is dark brown. It signifies the provisions of the law which protects the responsibilities of the National Archive of Malaysia as custodians in safeguarding the country's documents and records and keeping them intact. Number 9. The color yellow, it symbolizes culture and history. Number 10, the color dark brown, it matching the color of the soil, which is the origin of nature in accordance with the country's document and records, whereby the resources are also original. Number 11, the color black, it signifies the strict enforcement in the implementations of outlying government policies. It accordance to the National Archive of Malaysia's laws, such that the conservation of the documents and records are not neglected or violated.
So for the National Archive of Malaysia Acts, the National Archive of Malaysia were established in 1957 as the Public Record Office before changing their current name in 1963. They established their current location at Jalan Duta in 1982. The National Archive Act 2003 was passed in 2003, providing the legislative. There is 7 part of the National Archive Act, which is Part 1 is preliminary, Part 2 is National Archive and Director General, Part 3 is Advisory Board, Part 4 Management of Archive, the next is Administration of Archive, and the next one is Establishment and Management of Ministerial Archive and Memorial Archive, and the Part 7 is General Development of Audiovisual Documentation Centers. Audiovisual material are a part of the National Heritage Treasure stored as a collection of the National Archive that can be referenced by the researchers. It is a source of national history and culture, which symbolizes the achievement of the country creativity and also a reflection of the role and development of audiovisual media in Malaysia. The collection of audiovisual material in National Archive began as early as 1963, but the focus was only given in 1982 when the department had its own building in Jalan Duta, Kuala Lumpur. Collection of audiovisual archive in Malaysia. National Archive of Malaysia is responsible to acquisition, manage, control, maintain, making available archive, preserve and conserve audiovisual archive in form of video type, gramophone disc, recording tape, CDs and photograph. Evaluation is an important aspect of archival acquisition. The material has to evaluate against material in stock, the purpose of archive, the subject of the archive, and so on. The collection acquisition policy of NAM in identification of acquisition their audiovisual collection is consisting on material produced about Malaysia, whether done local or overseas, material produced by or any public agencies, statutory industry about Malaysia, materials produced by Malaysian citizens whether about Malaysia or not, material about Malaysia that generate by non-citizen whether local or overseas. So National Archive of Malaysia also organize very many activities like guide tour of Perak Syariah Jedu Theory Department, guide tour Intan guide tour or guide tour of Pasir Gudang Community College, National History Convention, and visit of Intan Cloud Administration Diploma. The participant will also state that a lot of activities at our report that everybody can refer.
The development of the online finding aids application initially began with the Pandi Online Project proposal paper prepared by the guidance section on 14 January 2005, followed by the Pandi Online Committee in 2008, led by Dr. Hajah Samsiah Muhammad, and is now realized through one of the scope of my creative content project. The implementation of My Creative Content project began at the end of 2011 with 4 main scopes, namely digitization of document archive material, digitization of audio-visual archive material, data center upgrade, and online finding aids application development. Online finding aids application development is broken down into 6 activities. The first one is Panda Query module development. The second one is data integration between online finding aids application with data from Compass, archival management system and media asset management system, material ordering module development, online development of online payment module, development of digital format conservation module, and modification of Compass and media asset management system application. Okay, so after the 4 my thesis co-expire in March 2013, all 3 million pages of archival material and publication as well as 2,242 hours of digital audio-visual archival material stored in the High Technology Data Center will be directly accessible through the online finding aid application. The use of online finding aid allow access to archival material now available to be accessed by all walk of life without limit of time and place. Researchers in and outside the country can continue to use the online finding aid while browsing the National Archive Malaysia portal at any time. In contrast to the use of Compass and Compass Web, online finding aid application use the same interface and search setting to facilitate researchers. Not stopping to provide access to archival material, Archive Nasional Malaysia is now able to provide early booking services for material through online finding aids. Researchers are given the facility to make reservation as early as 3 days before coming to do research. This can speed up the research process and indirectly reduce the waiting period of the material. So, for researchers who do not have the opportunity to visit the Archival Nasional Malaysia or researcher in the virtual world, they provide service that visit not only provide access to us, not only metadata information only, but also digital image can be viewed, ordered, and then purchased. Okay, so there are 3 functions. The first one is to provide research and reference service as well as communalize and popularize archival heritage through online. Secondly is to allow access to archival material for society by anytime and anywhere without limit. And the last one is to provide pre-order material service through online finding aids. In conclusion, the National Archive Malaysia has played an important role and services in preserving the national record for our society to maintain valuable resources and preserve for future. Not only that, by having online systems such as online finding aid, it is allowed to user to access the archival material by anytime and anywhere without limit. The archive is also responsible for destroying any useless record. Good record management and maintenance is important as it is fundamental to accountability, transparency, integrity, and good governance. In an increasingly challenging world with no borders, the sovereignty of a country and the human right of its people are very vulnerable if a country does not keep and preserve its heritage history.